Back to another episode of Sloppy Saturdays, and today we are going over the rankings changing, the rankings going into week 2. There was a lot of movement, probably the most movement I've ever seen from a week 1 to week 2 in college football. We're going to go over every team that moved, and we're going to talk about if they should have, if they shouldn't, were we surprised, and believe me, there is a lot of things I'm surprised of in these ranking movements. So let's go over each team in the top 25 and talk about how they moved. First off, Utah moved into a ranked team at number 25. I absolutely love this. I told you guys I like Utah's offseason a lot. They played a Big Ten opponent in UCLA and absolutely blew the brakes off them. I don't think Utah ever got stopped the whole entire game on offense. It seems like they absolutely blew out a Big Ten opponent. Them coming into 25, I really like it. At 24, Texas Tech goes down a spot. I don't know how Texas Tech beat their opponent by 60 points, Arkansas Pine Bluff. I don't know how you beat somebody by 60 and it makes you go down, but whatever. That's just how the rankings went. At 23, we have Indiana. I agree with it. Indiana goes down 3 spots. I don't mind it. They didn't cover their spread this weekend. They didn't look as good as a lot of people thought they should have. I think Indiana's going to have a down year from last year, a little bit of regression, but that's just me. I told you guys that. At 22, going up 2 spots is Tennessee. I don't mind that at all. Tennessee looked really good against Syracuse. Syracuse, a team with a lot of turnovers. I did expect them to be worse this year, but again, covering the spread, beating a Power 4 team by 20 points, I really like that. Joey Aguilar and their offense looked a lot better than expected. I don't mind them going up 2 spots at all. At number 21, we have Alabama going down 13 spots. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I am fine with it personally. I think they have the opportunity to definitely move up again into a top 20 team, top 15 team, but it's definitely going to be hard with the SEC. I don't think this Alabama team is, a non-ranked team at all. I think that would be absolutely crazy if they were in a top 25 team, but bringing them down to the 20s is pretty much exactly where they should be. Losing by 2 scores against a team that was unranked going into the season, you got to definitely go down a lot. You didn't lose, you lost by 2 scores to an unranked team. Again, I think they should be in the top 25, but in the 20s is exactly where they should be, in my opinion. I think college football got that right. Ole Miss going up 1 spot, don't really feel any type of way about it. Texas A&M didn't move. Oklahoma didn't move. SMU going down 1 spot. I mean, I don't know. Should they beat East Texas A&M by a little more? I guess they go down 1 spot. Don't really have any type of feeling about it. Iowa State moving up 6 spots. I do like it. I mean, they're 2-0. They beat South Dakota by nearly 50 points, and then they beat Kansas State, who was the 17th ranked team in the country at the time in week 0. I'm fine with them completely moving up. Michigan moving down 1 spot. I'm fine with it. I was not impressed with them at all. I mean, first of all, a Michigan defense that we think is always one of the best in the country, giving up 17 points to New Mexico. I didn't like that. And then again, their offense didn't look that explosive. It was really just a run game. So I don't mind them moving down 1 spot. I did expect a little more from this week. Florida State not ranked to 14. This is where I start having issues and a little bit of hot takes. I don't know if Florida State should be a top 15 team in the country. My reasoning is you had Florida State unranked and as a non-contender to open the season. I get it. They have a huge upset. 1, it's not a Whitey upset. It's at home. 2, we feel all type of ways about this matchup. We feel like we don't know what Alabama is. We feel like we don't know what Florida State is. So to completely rank them into a top 15 team, I'm not sure about that. Are they better than Michigan? Are they better than Oklahoma? Are they better than Texas A&M? Are they better than Ole Miss, Tennessee? Is Florida State better than all those teams now because they beat Alabama? I'm not sure how much of it was them or how much of it was Alabama is not what we expected and how much of it was just a good matchup at the right time for them, personnel-wise. I think putting Florida State as a top 15 team is a little rich. I would have put them in maybe the 20th spot right above Alabama or maybe a little further down, maybe 19th spot. Is this Florida State team better than Ole Miss who we had hired in them, Texas A&M, just because they got this upset? I'm not sure. I want to see more from both Alabama and Florida State to really see what to make of both of those teams. I think non-ranked into the 14th spot is a little rich. At 13, moving up 2 spots is Florida. Again, they played LIU this week. They played probably the worst non-power opponent you could probably possibly ever face. They moved up 2 spots. I don't really think that means anything for them at all. That game means absolutely nothing. We knew they were going to blow them out. Again, they had a shutout, but we knew pretty much that was going to happen. Face possibly the worst out-of-conference opponents you could face. Feel really no type of way about that. Arizona State moving down 1, Illinois moving up 1. I don't mind that, them missing spots. I don't think Arizona State played as well as they could have played in their matchup. Illinois played pretty good. I don't really mind them switching spots. At number 10, South Carolina going up 3. I mean, I get it. Beating an opponent by 3 scores and by 2 scores in a neutral site, a Power 4 opponent, did pretty much what they should have. Again, I wish they would have blew them out by a little more, but them moving up to a top 10 team, I don't really mind that. They have that type of upside. Again, do I expect them to go down a little more in the season? Probably, but they have that type of upside. I think that was completely right. Notre Dame moving 3 at 9. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. They lost to a top 10 opponent. They got to move down for sure. I'm completely okay with that. Clemson moving down 4 as well. I'm fine with Clemson moving down to 4 spots. I don't really know what else to say. I am fine with that. Do I think that's going to hold up, though? No. I think Clemson only has the opportunity to move up. I think pretty much in every one of their games, they're going to be favorites. I expect them to win pretty much every one of the games here on out for the rest of the season, even though people are low on them. It is a little low. I expect them to move up. What I think is really low, and I think is pretty insane at Texas, like Texas being 7, I think that's absolutely insane. I'm sorry. I think that is absolutely absurd, Texas being 7. When you look at the people in front of them, Oregon, Miami, is there any chance you guys are taking Oregon or Miami in a neutral site over Texas? Like, do any of you guys think those teams are better than Texas? No. The way Texas lost against the national champions, who were going into the week a top 3 team, on the road by 1 score, and all of a sudden these teams jump you a lot. Like, there's no way in my head that I think Miami is a better team than Texas. I get it. You're overreacting by the weeks. You got to go by each team played. But, like, Texas didn't even lose bad. I get it. Arch Manning looked really bad, but Texas didn't even lose bad. They lost by 7 in a game where, in the gotta-have situations, in opponent's territory 4 straight times, they just didn't score. But that game could have went a lot different, and you only lost by 1 score. And now you have these teams ahead of you that I really don't think are better than them. I don't think Oregon would win on a neutral site against Texas at all, and I think Texas would be favored. And same thing with Miami. I don't know. I think Texas dropping down to 7 is a lot from 1 to 7. Losing in a 1-score game on the road against the national champions, I don't know. And then that goes into Oregon moving up 1. I don't mind them moving up 1. The only issue is them being in front of Texas. I don't like. And then same thing with Miami. They're moving in the top 5. I think top 5 for Miami is just extremely high. I really like Miami. I really like what I saw out of them. I think they're definitely a top 10 team. They were going into the week. If they were like 8 or 7, just not in front of Texas, I wouldn't mind. But top 5, I think, is a little rich and a little bit of an overreaction for Miami, in my opinion. At 4, Georgia, they're moving up 1 spot. It's fine. They played a cupcake. They did what they had to do. We all know Georgia's a really good team. LSU at 3. People may think this is an overreaction. I personally do not. I think what we saw out of LSU is something like, hey, we did not expect this, and this team could very well be the top national championship contender in a couple of weeks. I don't mind this drastic jump because, again, they played a top 10 team on the road and won. Not only that, we saw LSU's defense be something that we didn't expect, and we already knew their offense was elite, and we saw that Garrett Nussmeier probably looked like the best quarterback in the country, arguably, this week. So all of that combined, them having possibly an elite defense, them having arguably the best quarterback in the country with an elite offense, like, they should be a top 3 team, honestly. Like, I usually don't like these type of jumps in week 1, but what we saw out of LSU, I said it in a previous episode, like, we have to take notice of that for sure. We can't let that go by. They are a true national championship contender. I think they're better than Georgia for sure. I think they're better than Miami for sure. I think they're better than Oregon for sure. And then obviously they're a debate with Texas, but honestly, they could be better than Texas too. Like, again, their offense looked better than Texas, and their defense looked like it was flying. I don't mind them. They're definitely top 15 in my opinion. This is where it gets kind of dicey, 2-1. I thought there was a chance that Penn State could have been the number one team in the country. Like they took care of what they had to do. They just barely didn't cover the spread. And then Ohio State being behind them, only winning by one score at home. I thought there was a possible chance that Penn State could be the number one team, but they aren't yet. I think Penn State is going to eventually be the number one team, but Ohio State at one, I really don't mind. That wraps up this episode of the rankings. Again, probably the most movement I've ever seen from a week 1 to week 2, just because of the amount of top matchups, primetime matchups, top 10 matches we had that we've really never seen before in a week 1 slate. I said to you guys before going to week 1, the rankings are going to move drastically like we've never seen before, and that's exactly what happened. Drop your hot take below who you think should not have moved the way they did. And that wraps up this episode of Sloppy Saturdays. Keep expecting more college football content from us. You're going to see a variety of episodes every single week. Expect 5 episodes at least every single week. That wraps up this episode of Sloppy Saturdays. And